Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TraderMerlin Show. It is your Wednesday edition of the show. It is what, the 18th today? 19th? Yeah, last night was, today's the 19th. You know why? Because I'm going to see Smokey Robinson tonight at the OC Fairgrounds. Should be a good time. Get some old school soul in there while the guy's still around. So anyway, hope you all did well. So update. Yesterday I went back through and looked at all the tweets, and I saw that many of those tweets, more than not, were saying, let it ride, hold on to it. And I said, okay. Also, got to give a shout out to those of you who post comments on the YouTube channel, and this was from Todd, and I think Todd probably has the right answer, although I wanted to have a little bit of interactive fun with you guys. He says, about that Tesla, I'd have to say, what does your plan tell you to do? He says, I couldn't resist. And he's right. Really, my plan initially was I'm going to sell those puts, and if I get Tesla at 240, which is my strike price, fine. I ended up collecting, I think it was $2.43 per contract, had 5 of those, so that was roughly $1,200 for that one. I did let it ride, and right now it's paying off. So let's start there. We'll look at Tesla, and I got the wonderful picture of Elon Musk here, AI generated, of course, as Tesla does it again. Yes, they beat earnings again. Here is the chart of Tesla, at least over the past few months, going back into the beginning of the year, 2023. But let's show you what's happening after hours, because that's where the fun has been happening. Here's for 5 minutes. That's regular trading hours. I will now turn it into extended so we can see the after hours volatility. That's why we call these the popcorn trades of the day, because of just their sheer movement that it had. In like 2 seconds, this thing went from $290 all the way down to $283. So a nice $7 drop in just literally 2 seconds, and it ripped right back up. So Tesla, so long calls now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I'll have to wait and see. I want to see what the press conference says. So literally in, what time we got? In about 25 minutes, the press conference happens. And I'm going to run you through the overall numbers for Tesla. Pretty good. I read through their press release, but really it's about the conference call and what they say detailed about some of the stuff going forward. So that'll happen right during the show. We'll probably see some volatility in that one. So let me throw a quick poll out at you, since I want to do more polls. I enjoy doing those. Tesla beat earnings today, and you know, there's a lot of great companies out there. You can look at Amazon and Microsoft, Apple, you know, the real drivers of this market. Which one of those do you think has had the longest current streak of earnings beats? I will put that in the poll here, so you guys will see that one pop up right now. So there you go. You got your poll up there. Feel free to answer that one if you like. Which company do you think has the longest current streak of beating earnings? I think I put Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Tesla on there. It might be rather surprising to you. You know, let's go back and take a look on the daily charts here of, and by the way, I need to do one piece of housekeeping. Shout out to Mark and Linda for coming out to trivia last night. It was interesting seeing people in person that are, you know, listen to this show or followed me over the years. So we had fun at trivia last night. The maiden voyage went well, so I'll be doing a regular thing there on Tuesday nights, at least for the foreseeable future. At Kitsch Bar, so that should be a good one. If you want to know more information, maybe get hints, and if you are in SoCal and you want to do some trivia at night, you can go follow my my Instagram, which is TraderMerlin. I don't usually put stuff there, but I'm going to start doing more. And the day of the trivia, I will actually have a hint out there for anybody who would want to get a little clue as to what might be some of the questions. All right, so here is Tesla's earnings streak. Now, you know, you look at some of these other ones. Here's Apple. I mean, they all look really, really good, but what I'm showing you here is really a year worth of activity. When I say longest streak, we got to go a little bit further back, and I'm going to kind of let this poll ruminate up here. I know some of you are still putting in your answers, and if you haven't done it yet, come on, put them in there. You've got Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, or Amazon. Which one has the longest current winning streak? I see you got 49 people here live right now and only 30 votes. Get away from your keyboard or just type in your answer. Click. Simple. Just click it. I'll give you a couple more minutes on that one. So while we wait for that one to go through, let's just go start with Apple. So you look at Apple, it obviously looks fantastic since the December lows. But if you look back here, they beat last earnings. And how do you do this? You can go to a lot of different platforms have it, but I'm using TradingView, and down at the bottom when you put it on a daily chart, it'll have a little E with an arrow up or arrow down. Down obviously meaning that they missed. So while Apple is an amazing company and they've done extremely well. They actually missed 2 quarters ago. Other than that, they have a very long streak of beating earnings. So that was kind of a surprise to see them miss right there on their, what was this, the February 2nd earnings announcement. They missed on that one. So they don't have a very long streak. What about Microsoft? Here's your Microsoft. And you can see Microsoft, they beat their last earnings. They beat 2, 3, but 4 earnings ago, going back to July 22nd or July 26th of 2022, they missed their earnings there, albeit very slightly. They missed by 6 cents, so not that big of a deal, but they did miss. Let's go and look at Amazon, AMZN. And you can see Amazon, they missed their Q4 of last year as well. So not a long streak there. And Amazon kind of missed a few times here. You see a few red arrows here. Even though they've been doing great, they're still missing quite a bit. And let's look at TSLA. I will put this as an end poll, so no new votes get in there. Notice Tesla, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 consecutive beats of earnings. Remarkable. Really impressive what Tesla has done. I would not have thought that they would be that consistent, that successful, and really that profitable. So pretty amazing to see it go. Let's see, what do we have? 41% of you said Apple. 24% said Microsoft. Only 21% of you said Tesla had the longest streak. The Tesla winners would be there. There's my trivia question. See, just getting you in the trivia mood. So, Tesla does it again. Beat earnings out there. What I want to do is show you one of the documents that they released, and that is this right here. It's their Q2 update. Right, so they released this right away when they came out, and it's a nice document that goes through some of the key metrics. But I'm going to go through here and just do it rather quickly. 9.6% operating margin profitability. Pretty good. Now, a lot of the numbers have been slowing, and you'll see that here in just a second. But all in all, things are looking pretty good from a financial perspective. And I'm not the big finance guy, but look at their financial summary. So total automotive revenues, year over year, 46%. So for the skeptics out there that say, oh, yeah, they're not going to do well competing against the major automakers, you show me an automaker, Toyota, Ford, GM, Chrysler, Volkswagen, Porsche, you name it, that's got 46% year-over-year growth. Be hard pressed to find that. And again, this goes back to the point of they're not just. I was listening to a conference call and they go, they're not just an automotive stack, right? A lot of these companies jumping into the space are somewhat one-dimensional and reliant only on the vehicle. Tesla has a lot of different assets. It's the batteries, it's the going to the solar side of things. You could go into the AI technology, and now they're coming out with their Dojo supercomputer, which is going to be powering all of their AI going forward. And given the amount of data that Tesla already has with every car that's on the road today driving, man, it really makes you think that they will have the lion's share of data for driving autonomous vehicles. Now, we talked about Waymo in the past, where Waymo already has autonomous vehicles, but it's only allowed in certain areas. They're not typically allowed to go on freeways or anything like that, so the data is limited. You're not getting as great of a data set, although they do have autonomous vehicles. So I thought that this would be some pretty interesting numbers here, at least showing the growth. And part of it is slowing down. I think Tom was saying that, look, they're going to get back down to typical automaker numbers in time. And it has been declining. You look at their operating margin here. So their operating margin year over year has declined, although it's still 9.6%. That's pretty good. Although a year ago they were at 14.6. So that's, obviously a pretty decent decline, but I would argue that's probably better than most of the vehicle companies out there today. You had their gross revenues increase 47%. Gross profit increased 7%. So most of this is really good. The EBITDA one here is a little bit of a decline, but that's just year over year on their percentage EBITDA margin. And they were 22.4% in Q2 of 2022. Here we are in Q2 of 2023, and they're at 18.7. So they have dropped a little bit, but still great profit margins here and making positive cash flow. They have money coming in, which is a good thing to do with a lot of these businesses. So if you read through this, a lot of it talks about their cost reduction, things they're trying to do now. They're talking about these new cell batteries and their technology they're trying to push to market, which is, again, not just vehicles. It's now battery technology that may be used to fuel the industry. Yeah, Tesla market cap of $900 billion, but only $1 billion in cash flow. And I think a main reason for that is a lot of it's going out into R&D. So if you look at the focus of this, right? You got all these different vehicle capacity, all those pieces there. Notice right here, installed annual vehicle capacity. So you have the tooling right now. So they're spending a crap load of money to get these things up. And you can see Texas, they're doing the Cybertruck plant there. They're now tooling that. They're testing it. I'll show you pictures here in a second of the Tesla Cybertruck, which, looks pretty cool. They're working on the Tesla Semi. They're working on a next generation platform at multiple locations, and they're going to start putting that Roadster back into development. So there's a lot of tooling and R&D pieces that need to get done here, and that's going to take a lot of that money. So I think that the money coming in is going right back into their R&D and building out the infrastructure, which tells me that in the future, Tesla is going to look pretty bright if they can pull off the same sorts of results that they've gotten with this. So yep, exactly, Big. They're a growth company. They're not going to, sit on cash like Apple has been doing and some of these other ones. It's like get every penny back into operations and grow this quick as possible. And let me ask you this, just if we look like, let's say, a business professor speaking here, why is it so important for Tesla to put every single penny back into those market segments I just showed you? Cybertruck, the Tesla Semi, developing the next generation of e-vehicles, and the Roadsters. Why is it so important at this moment, exactly right now, that they keep pushing all their money into those projects? Why do you think that is? Right? Put yourself in Elon Musk's shoes. If you are right now the leader in the space, all those vehicles doing phenomenal. You can see the capacity there. I don't have the numbers right here, Margaret. They might be in here, but I didn't see them as I was just glancing at the pictures and charts. But if you look at this graph here, or this table on the right-hand side, they're they have some significant capacity, especially in their Shanghai location. And as Liz says, their competition, right? And Margaret, if you know that other companies are building not cyber trucks, but electric trucks. So you got Ford with the F-150 Lightning. You've got GM coming out with theirs, and Silverado. All these trucks are coming out with their electric trucks. You got to beat them to market. So they're pushing hard for the Cybertruck. But then I personally think one of the biggest game changers here is going to be this Tesla Semi, right? This is what Nikola wanted to do. And we've looked at the pictures before. Nikola looked like some of their stuff. Let me bring it up here. Nikola Corporation. Some of their vehicles look gorgeous. I was really excited to see Nikola Motors, and hopefully they come to market with these things, but they're struggling. They don't have the money to pull it off. I don't think. Doesn't seem like it. So here is some of the Nikola stuff. This could change the future of transportation. So these are their models that Nikola is working on, but I don't see any of these rolling around. I don't see them in final stages of production. I don't see them on the market yet. So if Tesla can be the first to market with those semi trucks, that's a huge thing. So I'm a person, I love driving, but I hate driving at the same time. And I hate driving because I live in Southern California, and I apologize to my Southern California friends, but most of the people that drive down here are complete idiots. They think they own the road. They think if they're in a lane, it's their property, and they can do whatever speed limit they want to do in it. So you get some a-hole who's in the fast lane doing 45 miles an hour when you should be doing 70. In SoCal, you should be doing 80 just to get things moving. But that's a problem here. And especially if you drive from Southern California to Northern California, I got 2 lanes of traffic, and I've got the right lane is solid big rigs. So when that moron wants to cruise over in the fast lane and do 40 in the 70, you're driving me crazy, right? Picture this. I'd probably say 10 years from now, you won't have to worry about trucks pulling out automatically and cutting you off, because all of those trucks will be going a computerized, same speed, fully autonomous. There'll be somebody in the cab, but they're just sitting in the passenger seat making sure everything is okay. But all these semis will be fully automated, which could change a lot. You don't have to worry about somebody falling asleep behind the wheel, clogging up traffic lanes, right? They'll all just be single file, going the same speed, efficient, smooth, fast, etc. To me, I cannot wait for autonomous semi-trucks, but we're a ways away. Waymo talked a lot about it, where they're going to have distribution hubs and do autonomous trucking as well. So it's coming. It's going to make things much faster, much more efficient, and I think much cheaper once we get it on this electric grid and we remove the human error element out of it. So those big trucks are annoying too. Yeah, really annoying. Well, you're right, Tomasina. It's usually us. And my argument is, like, you see them and they're in line, they're caravanning, right? And when I go up the I-5, it's a 7-hour drive. And all of a sudden, they're doing 55, but the truck in front of them is literally doing 54. So that truck now has to get over in the fast lane at 55, and for the next 4 miles, I have to sit behind that truck as he does 1 mile an hour faster to pass that truck on the side. Shouldn't happen, right? We should all be doing at least the number that's on that speed limit sign, and that way things go the speed limit. That's the way it should be, but unfortunately, they don't all work that way. All right, let's see how many people I pissed off with my trucking comments. Autonomous semis will be a big deal in 5 to 10 years exactly. It solves a lot of driving issues, road congestion, and think about this. Maybe we'll have some law where semis aren't allowed to drive on the roads between 9 and 5, right? Whatever the busiest consumer traffic days are, you say they're not allowed to drive during those times because they can be autonomous and drive 24 hours a day, have them stop for that 2 hour where traffic is the most congested, put regular cars through, just thinking of ways where the future we might gain some more efficiency out of it. So anyway, I'm on a rant. No drunk driving, nope. Let's see. The Class 8 market, aka semi, is very low volume. Correct. Yes, they are. Yeah, they're not talking about mass manufacturing, but I think it's definitely an industry game changer where everyone will be buying these fully autonomous electric semis down the road. So, what are some other interesting things in this report? They talked a lot about AI. So, as I just mentioned, they have a thing called their Dojo computer where they're looking to really increase the production of this supercomputer, really to power all the AI for everything that Tesla is doing, which is a monumental task. The other parts they go into, you talk about their energy storage business, you talk about solar business, so they've got a lot of other really interesting things. And I like that they showed it here down at the bottom. It says in Q2 of 2023, has been the quarter of supercharging. A significant number of companies, including Ford, GM, Mercedes, Nissan, Polestar, Rivian, Volvo, and Electrify America, have announced adopting the Tesla standards, that NACS. That is awesome for Tesla, like really good for the whole ecosystem. I don't hate trucks. Hey, trucks are awesome. I just don't like when they prevent me from getting to my place on time or they create havoc on the roads, right? Trucks are awesome. Truckers are great people as well. I've got some friends who are truckers, so I'm not trying to badmouth them. I just think that one of the arguments that I made in the presentation I did with Larry Jacobson the other day, talking about digital assets, cryptocurrencies, FedNow, stablecoins, CBDCs, is we're watching innovations. And I think it's logical at some point to have innovations where we have fully driverless cars. I mean, I think everybody here would appreciate it, where if you just wanted to go somewhere, you'd just summon your car, which isn't even in your driveway. It's out running errands for you or earning money as an Uber driver for you without you in it. You're like, oh, shoot, I need to go to the store. Hit a button. Your car shows up at your door. You say, take me to Vaughn's and then drop me off at Kitsch Bar because I'm going to be doing trivia tonight. Okay, great. Shows up, drops you off. You can sit in the back and do whatever you want. You don't have to drive. For most of us, that's going to be a reality and a luxury down the road. Now, there are some of you that have that 68 Camaro 350 in your garage, and you're just like, man, I can't wait to go burn rubber and just light them up and do donuts in the parking lot and have some fun with my manual transmission, which, by the way, a manual transmission is a current innovation which prevents millennials from stealing your car. So if you have a manual transmission, millennials have no idea how to drive a stick shift. Anyway, so we'll still have some people that want their classic cars and to drive, and I'll probably be one of those people. I like having a car. I like doing it manually. But I love the idea of automation. Did you realize you wouldn't have a car to drive without these pesky trucks? Correct. Absolutely. They got to deliver them somehow. I'm working one of those Army Canada. Yes, you do. Minimum speed is the speed limit plus 5 or get off the road. At least get out from in front of me, right, Anthem? Just get out from my... See, Germany has the best drivers in the world. I'm going to get hate right here. But in Germany, if you have 2 lanes... you do not sit in the left lane. You never sit in that left. Someone's behind you in the left lane, you immediately get over. Because, especially on the Autobahn, I mean, those guys are doing 150, 200 miles an hour in their, Mercedes SL 550s. Just, whoa, you get over. But you just get over to pass, and that's it. Thanks, Pepe. I had fun last night, and, trades were okay today, so, yeah, it's fine. I think it's the point where insurance companies won't insure you once driverless is mainstream. Yeah, well, yeah, what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to insure the car. It'll no longer be you because you technically won't be driving when it's fully autonomous. And again, it's a great point that you make there, Dwight. You're just watching innovation, right? So insurance companies are going to have to adapt to new technology, new ways of doing things. They've done that over the course of history, and they will continue to do so. It's just, how do these solutions, which I agree with the comments there, Nicola, at one point was a scam. I think they could still maybe be something someday, but it's going to be a stretch. This just represents a step in innovation. And the argument or this discussion was started because of Tesla showing that they are looking at building infrastructure. Oh, yeah. I'm one of those people too, Margaret. And I apologize if I'm one of those people that's tailgated you. If you are slowing me up and there's miles in front of you and you're just sitting in the fast lane, my license plate might be tattooed on your back bumper. Get out of my way. If the speed limit's 55 and you're doing 55, but I'm right on your ass and you have road in front of you, get over. Just get over, let me by, and come right back over. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, I'm an aggressive driver. I'm a road rager, which is why I have an electric bike. It's a lot easier. One thing I liked about the report they put out is I like this cash. We have ample liquidity to fund our project roadmap, long-term capacity expansion plans, and other expenses. Furthermore, we will manage the business such that we maintain a strong balance sheet during this uncertain period. So I like that they addressed that right away. Like, look, we've got money, but we'll make sure that we're not going to, push ourselves too far so that we keep our balance sheet weak and potentially, hurt the overall growth of the company. So I like that as well. You look at volume here for Tesla. We are planning to grow production as quickly as possible in alignment with the 50% compounded annual growth rate target we began guiding to in early 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, a 50% annual compounded annual growth rate is incredible, especially that's something that you get in companies that are like very young, just a couple years old. They're just ramping up. Keeping 50% going and keeping that as your target is a very ambitious goal. And if they can continue to do it, that's amazing for anybody who's a shareholder of Tesla. They also included a couple different photos in here, but in the previous reports that I've seen, what they do is they put all their different vehicles in. I thought this was an interesting look, and it really tells me that what's their next big push. Here's their Cybertruck, which it's just such a weird looking beast. But there's the Cybertruck. There's some more pictures of the Cybertruck going through the mud. Look at this giant one wiper. Great, I guess. Okay, but they really just have pictures of the Cybertruck, and that's it. There's not one other vehicle pictured in here from a production development perspective. They're basically saying our next year is going to be all about Cybertruck. I think that is a very important detail that might be overlooked when you look at their release here or their update report. Is they're not really looking at the other stuff. Yes, they're going to keep on going, but this new segment, this new opportunity with the Cybertruck, they built up so much demand because social media talks about it all the time, and the Cybertruck, and some people love it, some people hate it. Wherever you stand, doesn't matter. They're going to be rolling these things out, and I think they're going to try to ramp up production incredibly quick. My guess is that if it does do really well here, you'll see another facility start up and start selling those trucks as well. So that is where I think they're hanging their hat on for the quarter going forward. You look at all their metrics. They're great. Margaret was asking about vehicle deliveries. Well, you know my phrase, the trend is your friend to the bend at the end. Well, they are selling a lot more vehicles. It's continually moving to the upside. Yeah, no, I think that was a publicity stunt, Margaret. I really do. And by the way, who needs a bulletproof window? Does anybody here really need a bulletproof window? I mean, it'd be nice if it resisted chips, but how many of you, okay, I want to poll here. Yes or no? It's a simple, just get your finger ready to type this in on your keyboard. Over the course of your entire driving career, the history of you having a vehicle and having driven vehicles, whether that's 10 years, 1 year, 100 years, doesn't matter. Over the course of your lifetime, have you ever had a rock come at you and hit your driver's side window, your passenger side window, or any of the windows on the side and shatter that window or break it? Has anybody ever done that? I'm going to put my comment in here, or had that happen. I'm going to do a bold no. It's never happened to me. I've never had a rock pop up and shatter my side window. Now, could people break into your car doing that? Okay, that might be a difference. Are you worried about driving through South Central Los Angeles during the Rodney King verdicts in 1990 and getting bricks thrown at you? Okay. Get a bulletproof window. So some of you have actually had your side windows broken by rocks? Wow. Impressive. Okay, well then get Janine and John, get yourself a Tesla with bulletproof windows. Yeah, I think most people are going to say, now windshield, that's a different story, right? I'd love to have a windshield that was chip resistant or, rock resistant. That'd be great because I've probably had 4 or 5 broken windshields over my driving career. So, yeah, right. Sorry, Oliver. I didn't mean to jinx everybody. But most of you probably aren't going to need that bulletproof window. Maybe just a better glass. How about a better? It doesn't have to be bulletproof. Just give me a better glass. Anyway, I thought that demonstration was pretty funny, comical at the time. It was good. All right. So other metrics, cash flow. You have seen their operating cash flow drop here over the past 4 quarters. So that's not great. But again, I think that a lot of that has to do with just massive investment into infrastructure to get them that competitive advantage. Even their net income. So you have net income. You can see here the last 3 have been fluctuating quite a bit. EBITDA adjusted, still relatively high. Yes, it's dropped the past 2 quarters, but still overall fairly decent. And then you have this is their trailing 12 months vehicle delivery in million of units. I mean, all these look great. These numbers look really good. Now, here's 2 that are changed a little bit. Year-over-year revenue growth has been sliding for Tesla. It's certainly been way better than the overall auto industry, which is in gray down here, but starting to hook back up. We'll see if that starts to move to the upside here. You'll see that get that Q2 number hooking up just slightly. And then operating margin. Their operating margin is dropping, which this goes to Tom's point about, hey, it'll probably get back down towards industry levels. Well, you're looking at an operating margin about 8% for the industry. Tesla right now looking at about 13.7, I believe was the number they came out at. So still, they're doing much better than the vast majority of the automakers, almost double the operating margin. And that will probably continue to decline until they roll out with a brand new product that nobody can beat, which is going to be something like the Cybertruck or maybe the Semi. So all in all, their financial statement's looking pretty good, and I will show you the results here. This is what happened today. You had actually really good companies today reporting earnings. Only one notable miss on this list here. You guys can see Netflix beat earnings. They're down 5%, which is interesting, even though they had a big beat. Tesla, they beat earnings, and they're slightly up. Again, I think the volatility on Tesla is going to start in about 3 minutes. I think that's really going to create a lot of volatility. You have IBM, Activision, and then Goldman Sachs missed today. That was kind of surprising to me. They have really seemed to struggle over the years, but Goldman missing by 17 cents on their earnings, missing by 5%, and they were still up in the day 0.97. So that's your quick run through there. One of the noteworthy ones today, let me bring up Netflix, since they beat earnings, and I didn't listen to the conference call, look at their earnings like I did with Tesla. Right now, they're down 5.65% in the after-hours session. We'll go here and show you the 5-minute time frame. You can see when they came out, the earnings just dropping. So, saving grace for Jim Cramer. You guys remember back here when Netflix was at $597. He issued a buy tweet for Netflix. Buy Netflix. Yeah, I think bye was a totally different one. Not purchase, but see you later, more like it, as that thing fell from $597 all the way to lows of $164. At some point, he'll probably say, see, I told you to buy, because it may creep back up and get above that $597 at some point in the near future. All right. John, yesterday buy a golf ball. That guy sucked. You know what's funny? There's a golf course right over here in Costa Mesa, right on Harbor. I swear, every time I drive by it, I do feel like I'm going to get hit by a golf ball. Because I know sometimes I'm out there teeing off. I'm like, all right, I think I got a decent swing. But there's times where you just shank that ball so bad, and you're like, that wasn't me. I remember, I think I got it from my father. When I was younger, my dad used to take me to a little driving range out by where he lived. And it was so funny because I remember I was in front of him on the driving range pads. So he was behind me. And you hear the whoosh, hit the ball, take off, and all of a sudden, I see this golf club go flying. And I turn, and my dad goes, Merlin! And I'm like, what? And he's like blaming me because he let go of his club and it flew off into the field. So, yeah, you get hit by a golf ball all the time. I know, random stories. I aim for cars along the golf course. Man, thanks, Big Ab. I'll never drive near. Just let me know when you're golfing. I'll stay away from those golf courses. Let's see. Would love bulletproof windows for when I lived in South. Now that's different, Mario. If you live in a place that really has, high crime rates or is not very safe, and it's not just South Africa. I mean, you could go through what do they call it in Brazil? The favela. I think it's called the favela in Brazil. Like, that's a dangerous spot. I'd want bulletproof too. But for most of us here in the U.S., it was an interesting selling point. Let's see. I had rocks hit my front side window commuting on the 91 3 times. You sure those weren't bullets? Right, Tom? All those people shooting people on the road there. Side window was broken at the Green River parking area. Wow. Yeah, well, having someone steal is a different story. Anyway, I guess the argument is made here that why not? If I have my choice of a regular glass versus bulletproof glass, and it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg more, I'll go with bulletproof, but I don't think I really need it. I'd love to have a bulletproof windshield, just because I don't want to pay for another damn rock to fix my... Anyway, remember when IBM was the biggest tech company that you had to own? Big Blue? Oh, yeah. Big Blue. And IBM reported earnings today, which we just talked about. So here's the actual numbers. They reported 218. They expected to make 201, so they beat by 16 cents or 8%. And after hours, it's down 0.83% right now. IBM... I mean, honestly, look at this long-term chart here. Really, this is the daily going back to 2016, but it feels like it just hasn't done much for like a decade. Yes, it's had some swings, but I mean, this is not a buy and hold thing. It just doesn't look like it's really doing much. So, hopefully you're getting dividend payments on that bad boy, because the trading activity on it doesn't look good at all. Let's see. Yes, yeah, exactly. I agree. Oliver says, the South Central LA or streets of Chicago. Yeah. Or how about San Francisco, right? And it's not about somebody shooting me. It's about some fentanyl zombie coming up to your car. That's some crazy stuff. I have a friend who lives in San Fran, and he posts a live video every day when he walks to work. And I swear, I cannot believe what I'm witnessing in San Francisco. Someone's got to fix that situation. Anyway, I'm rambling. So Tesla does it again. Pretty impressive. Bravo to Elon Musk. If he could be president, I would probably vote for him. I mean, this guy doesn't care. He gets shit done. I love it. Good for you, Elon. I was a naysayer years ago. I can't be a naysayer now. Although he's crazy. He's off his rocker a bit, but he gets stuff done. He says he's going to get things done. He's going to get it done. So I'm looking forward to, in the next few years, hearing about people who've gone to Mars and done that whole trip there. All right. IBM is still in the Dow Jones 30. Yep. Crazy. But it's still a big tech company. Let's see, Chris. He says, there are a lot of shootings here on the freeway. I worked on one. I've seen big rocks go through windshields. I'd take bulletproof glass. All right. Leave it to the guy that does body work. Good bulletproof glass. Say it. I'm in. Oliver, just look it up. Type in fentanyl zombie San Francisco. I'm sure there's videos out there. It breaks your heart. Thanks, Thomasini. You timed it perfectly. It really breaks your heart watching these. Some of the videos are people just standing there, and their pants are down their ankles, and they're fully hunched over. They look like bent at the hips, and they're just standing there, just floating around in some la la land. And look, I'm not an anti-drug person. I think that there's certainly medical uses from a recreational perspective, all right, whatever. But some of these things are just destroying people and destroying lives, and fentanyl is definitely one of those. We've got to do something about it. Anyway, let me go off from a serious topic to Les's question here, which I think he's here today. Les, if you are, excellent. He says, can you look at Microstrategy and see if it is a trade or long-term hold considering the potential future of digital currencies? So when I think MicroStrategy, MSTR, I mean, it's obviously had a monstrous run. And I keep kicking myself for these shoulda, coulda, woulda trades like Coinbase. I told you I wanted to buy Coinbase, and I sold puts against it, but I never actually bought the underlier, and I'm kicking myself for that one. This is one that I think is, I don't even really know if it's a company. I know it's a company. Obviously, they're a technology firm. However, to me, this is less about it being a logical tech company and really being a proxy for Bitcoin. The guy, Michael Saylor, brilliant what he's doing. He'll issue debt on behalf of MicroStrategy, and he'll issue $500 million worth of debt. He say, I'm going to issue bonds, and I will sell those to you at 6%. People gobble those up, because at the time, you can only get like 2%. He's giving you a 4% premium on your money. Awesome. He'll take that $500 million, and he goes and buys $500 million worth of Bitcoin, and he's buying billions of dollars worth of it. He did that with the understanding that since the course of Bitcoin, so 2009 when it started, it has about an average annual compounding growth rate of about, it's dropped from 150, I think it's down to about 130. So 130% annual growth rate. So Michael Saylor's saying, I'll borrow money from you at 6%, and I'll end up making, 100 at the time, 150% rate of return per year. That's a win-win. When this takes off, and I think that's going to happen next year after the halving, I think that MicroStrategy could quadruple, quintuple in value. And it's because they have so much Bitcoin. They've got I believe right now it's 143,000 Bitcoin that MicroStrategy controls. And that, again, that's Bitcoin that's not on an exchange. That's not part of the liquidity. They're holding that outside of the market. So less supply in the marketplace. They're kind of cornering the market on it. If Bitcoin has a big run, which I think it will, especially after the halving, I think that this is a long-term hold. I think you'll see a big run up. But remember, in that video I did for barchart.com, I'm really focusing on November of 2025 being the fourth year of that 4-year cycle. When that happens, Bitcoin historically has taken a 70 to 90% decline in value. That should happen from November 2025 to November of 2026 will be that giant decline. So keep that in mind as well. The government does have a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of which they've seized from, Silk Road or other entities, but they're also selling that off, right? They are selling their holdings of Bitcoin, which now they've had a huge profit in for the ones they've been holding a long time. But yes, they definitely seized those. So yeah, I think less long-term, I would think that MicroStrategy is a hold. It's tough to look at this from a trading perspective. I mean, look at the run it's had. It's gone from about 275 up to 475 in just a month and a half. So it's had one hell of a run up to these current highs. But I still think there's a lot of legs left on this one just because of the sheer amount of Bitcoin that they control. And again, if there's a run there, going to do great. Look at MicroStrategy's earnings. We talk about companies that have a long streak of losing. Their last earnings they beat, but everything else before that, just miss. I think they might have like 8, 9, 10 in a row here of misses. So they're not the greatest company, but if Bitcoin prospers and does well, these guys are going to absolutely crush it. Michael Saylor may end up being one of the richest people on the planet simply because of all the Bitcoin that he owns. I know, sounds crazy to think Michael Saylor could be one of the richest people on the planet, but it is true. All right, next question from Les. Wait, how much time do I have? All right, I'm gonna actually wrap this up. I have too many things I got to take care of, and I will get to Les. You had a couple other questions. I will get to those on tomorrow's show. Let me go and show you your economic calendar and earnings calendar for tomorrow. Let's get that stuff out of the way. Here's what we've got cooking for Thursday. The bigger names out there, you got Johnson & Johnson, you got Blackstone Group, Intuitive Surgical. I'm very curious to see what happens with ISRG. Remember, they're doing robotic-assisted medical devices, so maybe doing full open-heart surgeries with robots or things like that, becoming a very real reality. You have Abbott Labs, American Airlines, CSX, Philip Morris, Nokia, and Freeport-McMoRan reporting earnings tomorrow. Those are some of the big names. And on your economic calendar, let me scroll down here to our Thursday session. And by the way, our economic numbers were not good today with regards to housing starts and building permits. They both missed. You had a drawdown in crude oil inventories to negative 0.7 million barrels. And then for Thursday's session, you do have unemployment claims coming out, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. And keep in mind, the Empire State was better than expected, so that was good. You have existing home sales, CB Leading Index, natural gas storage, and then for the British pound, you have retail sales, but that's going to come out tomorrow night. So no real popcorn trades of the day for tomorrow. The big stuff happened today. We'll see what happens with Tesla in the next hour or so. Let me just real quickly see if it has moved, because typically the volume becomes so light at this time in the after-hour session that not really worth touching it. Well, yeah, you can see it just started moving again. You can see right here as that conference call started with Tesla, it fell from 291 down to 286, so a $5 drop, now bouncing a little bit. But there's very low liquidity at this moment in time. You can look here at the volume. I've added volume at the bottom. You can see when the earnings announcement came out, it was great. And all of a sudden, very low volume. So any announcement that happens during this conference call could have a profound impact on the price of Tesla, and we'll see what happens when we get there tomorrow morning. All right, that's going to do it for me, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you watched the fireworks for Tesla and enjoyed that as well. Learn something new every day. Again, thanks to those who came out to trivia on Tuesday. If you like the show, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. I think that's the biggest thing I need to work on getting this channel to grow, is get more subscribers out there. So for those of you who are new, hit that subscribe button. If you have questions, comments, feedback, things you want me to discuss on this show, you can do what Les Gold does all the time, which is post comments down below any YouTube video. I put them into the slide decks and I'll answer those. Or you can send them in at TraderMerlin@gmail.com, and I'll answer those there. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic remainder of your day. I will see you mañana.